At exactly 5:42 hours on May 10, 2025, Senior Lieutenant Petro Kovalenko keeps a close eye on the Phoenix drone feed from his command station, located 18 kilometers behind the TER's front line. On his screen, thermal readings begin to emerge from a wooded area near grid reference 86423791. Kovalenko identifies 8 separate heat sources, advancing in a coordinated pattern. T-72 tanks, backed by BMPs, and foot soldiers moving in a staggered formation, roughly at company size. His face hardens as he realizes this isn't just a scouting maneuver, it's the opening wave of a major offensive. At the front, Ukrainian forces from the 93rd Mechanized Brigade are already under severe pressure. Russian 12.7 MAM and 30 MAM machine guns blanket the trenches in withering fire as Storm Z units push forward in small tactical elements, spaced 4 to 5 meters apart across exposed ground. Ukrainian defenders fire back effectively with PKM machine guns, but without support from indirect fire assets, the line is in serious jeopardy. Every second counts, and unless artillery fires are brought in swiftly, the forward defenders could be overrun. At this point, Battalion HQ authorizes engagement. Ukraine's response is a US-made M19 Paladin self-propelled howitzer, concealed in a shallow ravine 17 kilometers northeast of the contact line. Its powerful 155 mm main gun, with a unique muzzle brake to absorb the recoil, is the centerpiece of the system. Inside the turret, an advanced fire control suite crunches targeting data in under 30 seconds, a dramatic improvement over the outdated Soviet systems that need 2 to 4 minutes. This Paladin model can maintain a firing rhythm of 4 shells per minute and strike targets 30 km away with conventional munitions, an asset about to prove decisive. By 6:11 hours, Sergeant Maxim Boyko, commanding the Paladin crew, receives coordinates from Kovalenko's team. The gunner inputs data for the 8 Russian vehicles heading northwest at 22K/H. Time is of the essence. Storm Z troops are already breaching the trench lines, and the armor won't be far behind. At 6:12 hours, the Phoenix drone adjusts its flight path, hovering precisely 750 meters above the battle area. Its electro-optical/infrared sensor system, stabilized on a gimbal, locks onto the lead T-72 with astonishing 0.02D precision, despite gusting winds. The Phoenix drone's dual imaging setup merges high-resolution visible light visuals with thermal imaging, sensitive enough to detect half-degree Celsius differences, critical for identifying vehicles even through morning haze over the wheat fields. All data is relayed instantly through a 256-bit encrypted link that frequency hops to evade Russian jamming attempts. The drone's onboard systems compute target velocity vectors and continuously send updated firing solutions to Boyko's Paladin every 1.7 seconds, adjusting dynamically as Russian units maneuver. Kovalenko watches as the drone's AI-assisted recognition software outlines every vehicle, assigning threat levels based on armament, armor rating, and proximity to friendly forces. The lead T-72 is marked in red, its 125mm main cannon turning toward Ukrainian positions. Target Priority 1 confirmed, Kovalenko transmits. Lead T-72 at Grid 8, 6, 4, 3, 7, 9, 1. Heading northwest, 22 kilometers per hour. This tight sensor-to-shooter integration reduces the entire engagement cycle to under 45 seconds. A stark contrast to older systems that could take several minutes, often missing moving targets entirely. Thanks to uninterrupted drone tracking, Boyko's team retains pinpoint accuracy, even as Russian armor shifts positions. Unaware, the enemy's every step is monitored in real time, with predatory accuracy, feeding targeting data to one of the most sophisticated artillery platforms in the war zone. At 6:14 hours, Boyko issues the command. Fire mission, multiple rounds, simultaneous impact. 6 HE shells. This high-end technique, known as MRSI, multiple rounds simultaneous impact, showcases the cutting edge of 21st century artillery warfare. Peer into the Paladin's targeting interface, and you'll see just how advanced the system truly is. Its touchscreen ballistic computer computes multiple firing trajectories at once, each adjusted for unique elevation, propellant charge, and flight arc. This enables several shells fired seconds apart to strike their target almost simultaneously. Within a tight 2-second window, despite launch intervals of up to 30 seconds, the fire control system instantly analyzes 134 environmental parameters, ranging from barrel erosion, powder temperature, wind direction, and atmospheric pressure, to even Coriolis effect, based on their latitude, elements that older artillery systems required manual calculation for. Each factor is precisely weighted in the algorithm, boosting first-shot accuracy to over 87% at a range of 18K. Exo-C power. Exo-C power. How much wind can a single round of bullets devastate a German fort with a range of 18K? The first round leaves the barrel with a thunderous crack, shaking the Paladin's frame as the high explosive shell exits at 827 meters per second. 5 additional shells follow quickly, each at a slightly steeper trajectory. In the sky above, the Phoenix drone's infrared sensors capture the bright thermal flashes of all 6 impacts, landing within just 1.8 seconds of one another across the Russian armored line. Without the multiple round simultaneous impact (MRSI) method, enemy troops would have had nearly half a minute between hits to find cover, dramatically lowering strike lethality. Instead, the nearly concurrent blasts leave no time to react. The first pair of BMPs is obliterated by direct strikes, each explosion sending lethal fragments across a 45-meter radius. A lead T-72 tank suffers a track hit from a near miss, immobilizing it as the turret rotates frantically in search of the attacker. Through this integration of next-gen fire control, auto-loading systems, and precision ballistics, the Paladin evolves beyond a mobile artillery gun. It becomes a true precision strike system. This is the defining shift from traditional suppressive fire to pinpoint engagement, marking the new age of battlefield artillery. But even with this success, the situation for Ukrainian troops continues to deteriorate. At 6:27 hours, Boyko's tactical screen flags a critical alert. Russian armored units have penetrated the trench lines south of Dresba, forcing Ukrainian troops into fallback positions. Phoenix drone thermal feeds show friendly soldiers just 80 meters from advancing enemy armor, well inside the 600-meter danger close boundary for standard artillery. Headquarters gives immediate authorization for close-in fire. "Send it," Boyko commands, directing the crew to switch to precision-guided munitions. Target: T-72 at grid 86443794. Load: Excalibur. The loader opens the secure ammunition bay to retrieve M982 Excalibur shells. These guided rounds feature a sleek aerodynamic design, pop-out control fins, and a smart fuse enabling mid-flight course correction. Each costs roughly $112,000, but delivers sub-4-meter circular error probable CEP. A huge contrast to conventional shells that can deviate by over 200 meters. At 6:31 hours, the Paladin's computer finalizes aim adjustments using GPS coordinates and updated weather data, displaying a 98.2% chance of a direct hit. The gun thunders once more, its recoil absorbed by hydraulic dampeners, cutting felt force to 1/3 thirds. Moments later, the Phoenix drone shows a direct hit. The lead T-72 ignites, struck with less than a 0.7-meter margin from the aim point. Over the next 90 seconds, 3 more Excalibur rounds destroy 2 additional tanks and a command BMP with equal precision. Without this level of accuracy, Ukrainian forces would have had to retreat to avoid casualties from traditional artillery's wider impact zone. By 6:35 hours, remaining Russian BMPs begin deploying infantry into open wheat fields. Boyko issues a rapid changeover. Area fire! Dips 'em! Grid 8-6, 4, 4, 3, 7, 9, 5. Infantry in the open. The gunner loads fresh coordinates as the loader switches to M483 A1 Dipsum cluster shells. Each shell contains 88 dual-purpose submunitions that scatter over a 30-meter area. These M42/M46 bomblets combine shaped charges and fragmentation, piercing up to 2.7 inches of armor while producing a lethal 15-meter radius against dismounted personnel. The fire control system selects an optimal burst altitude of 50 meters for maximum dispersion. 4 cluster shells are fired, blanketing a 900-square-meter zone, where Russian troops are setting up a hasty fighting position. Phoenix thermal scans reveal dozens of detonation flashes as bomblets rain down. 1 BMP is taken out by multiple hits to its thinner top armor, its fate sealed by the cluster attack. Traditional artillery would have needed 8 to 10 unguided shells to match the same area coverage, allowing enemy units critical seconds to dive for cover between impacts. The Platydin's seamless shift from pinpoint accuracy to area saturation illustrates its exceptional battlefield versatility, capable of neutralizing both armored and infantry threats without requiring multiple specialized platforms. Without this swift adaptability in munitions, Ukrainian forces would have been forced to rely on separate artillery assets for anti-tank and anti-personnel roles, severely limiting their effectiveness given current resources. But what they didn't realize was that their own Paladin was about to become the hunted. At 6:42 hours, the electronic warfare suite inside Boyko's Paladin picks up activity. Enemy counter-battery radar has gone live at grid 8, 7, 2, 1, 3, 8, 0, 7. The display identifies the signature emission of a Russian Zoopark 1 system, scanning in the 14 to 16 GHz band with a 45 dg sweep angle. Immediate displacement, Boyko commands, aware they've overstayed by more than 3 minutes at the firing site. Within seconds, the enemy will lock on with enough precision to unleash retaliatory fire. The commander signals to move, and the driver revs up the 675-horsepower turbocharged diesel engine. Instantly, the navigation module plots a route to the alternate pre-designated site, 3,800 meters to the southwest, predicting an 87-second transit at their max velocity of 61 km/h. The 27.5-ton Paladin crashes through a copse of trees, armored plating scraping branches as the hull, engineered to withstand 14.5mm rounds and fragmentation, absorbs the shock. Underneath, its hydro-pneumatic suspension handles the uneven terrain without throwing off the calibration of the fire control system, meaning the Paladin can re-engage within 60 seconds of halting. Just 94 seconds after vacating their prior location, a salvo of Russian 152mm shells rain down where they once stood. A deadly barrage that would have annihilated both crew and vehicle had they lingered.